The star of the Captain America movie coming up, Anthony Mackie, is slamming fans who dare to come up and congratulate him or say nice things. It's in the latest puff piece, and it makes us wonder how much longer can Disney possibly go as this man enters full-blown Rachel Zegler territory. We'll give you the latest, the quotes, the boats that are sinking as Anthony Mackie just can't stop saying stupid, stupid things. Hello, folks, and TGIF. If this were the 90s, you'd be watching Family Matters, but you're watching the Pro Channel instead, and we're happy to have you. We're also happy to have ND Andrew. He's back with us again. He's out of the Rippaverse. They've let him off the chain for enough time to deal with the insane Anthony Mackie. Andrew, how are you?
I'm doing pretty great, Pro. It's good to be back.
I'm happy to have someone who is overseeing and working with a competent comic book franchise as opposed to Marvel and the MCU, which I think is just a few failures away from absolute catastrophe. Andrew, we're going to talk today about Captain America. Well, maybe we shouldn't call him Captain America anymore. Maybe Captain Un-America.
Eric likes to call him Captain Black Falcon, man.
All right, I'm good with that. But the redemption arc, they are attempting it. Every effort is being made to save this, but I think that with 2 weeks left to go, he's gone full Zegler. Folks, here's the article. It is out of Esquire, but it is not quite as sycophantic as what we'll see with The Hollywood Reporter, so hang tight. The article here is called Anthony Mackie is Captain America Now. How about that? It's by Brady Langman. We're going to scroll on down, but everything about this article is made for you to believe that Anthony Mackie is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And maybe he is, but he is destroying his chances. All right, let's scroll. I mean, look at this. This is amazing how much they have here. But
looks like a puff piece.
It's as puffy as it gets. All right, folks, here it is. Here's what we've got on this. It says, first of all, he's talking about Harrison Ford and being a star with him. And he does okay. And then the Hurt Locker begins. Here's where it goes. He says, he offers a similar cool treatment to the inevitable comparisons that we draw between the Red Hulk and President Trump. Now, why would that be? Why would there be comparisons between Red Hulk and President Trump? He says, I hope as a country, we're tired of all the political jousting. He says, when I ask if he thinks fans will make that jump. He says, let's just go to the movies and chill the blank out. He adds, we could have made this mother blanker yellow and it would have been a problem. Now, the first part of this, Andrew, is fine. When he says, I hope as a country we're tired of all the political jousting. Stop there. Then he goes further. And the problem with this, Andrew, is that we know that the Red Hulk, this was supposed to be a political message. They thought that the election was going to go the other way, and they thought this movie was going to herald in a new era of Trump is gone, and we never want him back again, and Red Hulk is going to represent that. That's what we think. So don't gaslight us. Like, don't get out there and tell us, oh, yeah. Well, there's been reshoots up until last month trying to fix this because we totally didn't see this coming. And we've reshot and reshot to fix this. Like, don't gaslight us and try to pretend that, we could have made him yellow. We could have made him blue and there'd be problems. No, we all know the real story here. Andrew, walk us through, I guess, what's the proper way to handle this considering the whole movie was essentially set up to be anti-Trump?
Well, the proper way to handle this would have just been to say, honestly, we don't need to do the political jousting. Leave it at that. Let's all go have fun at the movies. I hope everybody has fun at mine. That's all you have to do as an entertainer. Your job is just to get people excited for your film. At this point, as has kind of been the case since it was initially announced, virtually nobody is excited for this. And every single thing that we hear is really only compounding that issue, right? You have this with the whole Red Hulk being compared to Trump thing. And then you have the whole deal where, he was in Italy and he did the interview there and he fumbled his words and made a faux pas, we'll say, in how he handled a question there, asking about what, Captain America means to him. And he, in not so many words, said that, he thinks that it shouldn't, the word America or American shouldn't necessarily be intrinsically tied to the character. It's like, well, all you really had to say was, these are the things that the character means to me. Those aren't necessarily exclusively American values, and leave it at that if you want. But he just keeps putting his foot in his mouth right now, which I don't know if I'd necessarily put him on Ziegler's level, because she's just a different brand of obnoxious. Anthony Mackie just seems to be saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, because he doesn't come across necessarily as pretentious, unlike Ziegler.
No. Andrew, hold on. You're going to want to see this. And folks, the reason I'm going to put him on Ziegler's level is simply because, Andrew, as you rightly point out, the timing here. This is a guy who we're 2 weeks away from the release. All you have to do is say nice things and don't get in trouble. And he seems to not know how to do that. So I was on your same side when it came to pretentiousness. But take a look. Mackie is learning that no matter how hard he tries to live life as number 6, which is what he calls himself on the Avengers, the world will never treat the actor who plays Captain America so casually. Here's what he says. You ready? The expectations of what comes along with this role is something that nobody talks about, he says, turning sober. Nobody really acknowledges the mental jousting that takes place. When I walk out of this hotel, I don't walk out of this hotel as Anthony Mackie. I walk out of this hotel as Captain America.
See, that there would be credence to that claim, except nobody's actually doing that. Nobody actually views him that way. You know, if Chris Evans were to say that, he could have some validity to that claim, right? If Robert Downey Jr. says, you know, when I walk out of a hotel or walk into a restaurant, people look at me and say, that's Iron Man. There's validity to that claim. Nobody's saying that about you, Mackie. I'm sorry. People might say, oh, there's the Falcon, and actually be excited because everybody actually liked the Falcon. And a lot of people also just like Anthony Mackie as an actor. I think he's a very good actor. He has good range in terms of what he's capable of. But nobody's been sold on this idea of him playing Captain America. And so that's where you lose me, because you are positing a situation that is completely hypothetical and fabricated in your brain, because it's not actually happening. Nobody's doing that. No one is putting that expectation on you. Maybe you're putting that expectation on yourself, and honestly, that's giving yourself a little too much credit, because again, nobody sees you as Captain America. If Andrew Garfield, after the Amazing Spider-Man films were announced and he was cast as Peter Parker, if he said there's a huge shoes to fill here, now there's this huge expectation. I'm not just Andrew Garfield, this skinny kid from England. No, I'm now going to have to be viewed as Spider-Man, and I've got big shoes to fill because we just had Tobey Maguire, right? Or if Tom Holland did the same thing, right? Nobody's doing that with Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie, Andrew, he's in a tribute band, and he believes he's the Beatles. Let me show this to you. This is where it gets really bad. Folks, again, this is a puff piece. Everything about this article is supposed to lift him up. Ready? Here we go. This is where we're getting into Rachel Ziegler territory. Again, 2 weeks until release. Just shut up. Say positive things. Smile. Be happy. Be friendly. That's it. It says, it won't take you too long in the annals of Google to find a couple social media dispatches detailing interactions between Mackie and fans that went sideways. Example, Anthony Mackie is the rudest celebrity I have ever met, in which a young woman details his pulling up in his, quote, huge blanking truck, smoking a cigar at a gas station, rejecting her approach. Mackie recalls the interaction differently. He was already having a bad week. Someone had recently found his phone number, 120 missed calls, AI threats. He pulled into the gas station and this woman jumps out of the car and I simply look at her and said, no, he recalls. Plus, he adds another hole in the story. What idiot smokes next to a gas pump? But here's where this is where the true Mackie comes out. And folks, I'm not here, I don't care who Anthony Mackie is as a person. I really don't. But from a marketing standpoint for Disney, for a Marvel movie that's already in major trouble, this is the kind of stuff that you just got to scratch your head and say, no, where is your publicist? Watch this. Ready? The author says, we follow this thread for another minute until, just as Mackie says, dude, you got to protect yourself because if you don't, ... A woman, everybody listen now, this is what they're protecting themselves from, okay? This is the proof. This is the proof in the pudding in the article that Mackie is under fire. He's got to defend himself. He's got to be on the ready all the time. It's not his fault that he's perceived as being harsh and negative and cruel. A woman in her 50s. and her teenage son step towards us, stopping 10 feet away. I'd say that's giving them plenty of bubble. But Mackie's face goes blank. She, the 50-year-old woman, rattles off something that I can't really make out, says the author, but I think she's citing a mutual connection in New Orleans. Mackie offers a half affirmative. The kid that says he's a fan receives a slightly warmer "appreciate it" from Mackie. We all wish each other happy holidays, and they shuffle away. Now, one would think that is as benign a celebrity interaction as you could have, but here's what Mackie thinks about it. I remark on the poetry of whatever the blank that was, says the author. Mackie says, she scared the blank out of me. Read the room. There are two dudes in the corner behind a Christmas tree. Andrew, this guy comes off as pretentious and nasty as you can possibly be. When you get to be a big movie star, a major celebrity, the idea that you are that inconvenienced, that you're scared blankless because a woman and her kid 10 feet away said, hey, we both went to New Orleans somewhere. Hey, my kid loves your stuff. And the kid says, hey, big fan. And then they walk away. Like this, you want to have somebody who comes across as reprehensible? He needs an attitude of gratitude, and he needs a reality check. And this coming out in a puff piece, this does no favors to Disney. This does no favors to his career. This only sinks Captain America even further. It's Rachel Zegler territory. It's cringe as, I'll say, blank. Andrew, what do you make of it?
That's a head scratcher, man. I don't know how anyone would feel intimidated in that situation. Again, as you said, gratitude. These people have jobs because the general audience has gone and supported their projects. And
right, they hit the lottery. They hit the lottery, Andrew.
Instead of being gracious and humble, you get a response like that. Like, if I was that mother, I would have a completely different outlook of Anthony Mackie after that. If I was that kid, and, depending on how old the kid was, if he has any, 2 cents about him, that's one of those moments where it's like, oh, I guess you really shouldn't meet your heroes, right?
He comes across as a bad person. Like, he legitimately, how the author can be that obtuse to not realize how that's going to come across to people. Like, I read that and I think, you're not grateful for your station in life. Like, you had a 1% chance of becoming who you are. You hit the lottery. It's awesome.
That's kind of par for the course when it comes to a lot of these online websites and, all these journalists just in general, really, where they have a spite for the general people, at least in the way that they act and at least the way that they talk, because every time somebody in a position of either authority or influence or a celebrity, anything, maybe a combination thereof, anytime somebody in those positions says something either disparaging or says something rude or does something, it's like, wow, you're kind of a jerk for doing that. You didn't need to do that. They tend to puff it up and highlight it as though they're saying, yeah, you go get him, right? It's the same thing as, like, say, a crazy ex-girlfriend keying, the ex's car, and then her friends are cheering them on when she just committed, vandalism.
Right. And the sin in this case is, how dare a 50-year-old woman and her kid walk up to you because you were sitting behind a Christmas tree. They should know better. My question is, Andrew, where is the publicist? Where's the security? You're a movie star. Like, put somebody over there who blocks it. If that's such a big deal to you, if you and your little fifis can't handle a fan coming up and saying, love your work, my kid loves you too, hi there. Like, if you can't handle that, then get somebody who stands by the freaking Christmas tree and says, sorry, folks, no conversations right now. Mr. Mackie's very busy. Like,
I think it's not unreasonable for celebrities to at least want some moments of privacy, some moments of, hey, I'm just out here having a coffee, or I'm just out here having some drinks, or I'm just out here and having a meal, right? Whether it's by themselves or with some friends, family, whatever it is, and not necessarily wanting to always be, at the behest of either the media, paparazzi, fans, anything, of the like. However, there's a way to go about that. And I think there's a way to handle yourself with grace in those moments. And who knows, maybe he was having a really bad day there, but that was not the response to have. That doesn't help you. It doesn't ultimately help your movie. Not that much was going to at this point, because nobody's going to go see it. This movie is tracking in terms of when it was pre-sales. What was last week? I remember hearing it was tracking somewhere between the Eternals and the Marvels. That's not much to gloat about. In fact, given how many reshoots they've had to do on this thing, this movie has an astronomical number that it has to hit in order to break even. And I'm telling you right now, I don't usually like to put the cart before the horse, but it is not happening with this movie.
They are doing everything they can to save it, and they're playing the victim card. This is the Hollywood Reporter. So remember, the Esquire piece is puff piece. I mean, it's as big a puff piece as you can get. The Hollywood Reporter, which we've been reporting on the last few days, I mean, the Hollywood Reporter, I don't know what's happened, but they have gone hyper-partisan, and I do think that Elon Musk may sue them for some of the things they've said. They've went nuts. I don't know about James Hibbard, but I can tell you that this article is all about trying to save Captain America. Let me show you the gaslighting here. It says, Captain America Brave New World shows Disney can't escape the culture wars. While the studio desperately tries, oh my gosh, hang on, I might hyperventilate. While the studio desperately tries to avoid politics, the stars of the upcoming Captain America movie and Spider-Man TV show are making waves for just barely slipping off message. Folks, this entire movie was supposed to be about a new dawn of America and putting away Orange Man Bad, who would become Red Man Bad, played by Harrison Ford. This whole thing was political. And now they've gone and reshot it as much as they can to take that out at great expense. And now they're playing the victim card. Let me read just a little bit to you, and Andrew, we'll get your take on it. It says, when Captain America Brave New World star Anthony Mackie was promoting the upcoming Marvel sequel at a press event in Italy, which you referred to earlier, he said, to me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term America should be one of those representations. To which I say, Burger King should be known as many things and represent a lot of different things, but burgers should not be one of them. I think it was Mahler, may have been Razorfist, who said, Pizza Hut represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term pizza should be one of them. That's the level of stupid. But they're going to come in and defend it. They're going to talk about what he came in with the excuse in Comic Sans, and the Hollywood Reporter, in their infinite wisdom, they say, which is quite likely precisely how Mackie originally meant it, meaning the apology. The MCU's previous Cap, Chris Evans, said a very similar quote while promoting Captain America back in 2011. I'm not trying to get too lost in the American side of it. This isn't a flag-waving movie. He should just be called Captain Good, which, as I recall, also got him in trouble. The sentiment is almost certainly part of Disney Marvel's infamous media training for the 85-year-old character. Emphasize the Cap's positive universal qualities, not his specific Americanness, which comes with potentially jingoistic associations, particularly when promoting the movie overseas. They go on to defend, and also defend the Spider-Man cartoon that's never going to track, not a single time on Nielsen. So that's another failure. It's just, we're on shuffle. We're on loop. Andrew, we defend Acolyte and Agatha until you can't defend it anymore. Then we move on to the next one. It's behind door number 3, Captain America, Brave New World. Defend, and then it will not win. And we'll be back in the same spot we are again, where 4 months later, they'll come out and say, in a tiny piece somewhere, yeah, it didn't do so well. And then we'll move on to the next thing. But I think it's running out. I think they're running out of steam. Andrew, what do you make of the defense system that they're putting up? Defense matrix employed to try to protect Captain America before the release.
Once again, it's par for the course. We see this happen with every single release of theirs on the Star Wars and Marvel side these days, because they all are met with basically the same reception, which is nobody's watching it. Nobody cares. They either fall off the Nielsen ratings immediately, or they never hit them to begin with. Nobody's watching. Nobody cares. We see even fewer YouTubers who have made careers out of making fun of these horrible films and these stupid celebrities that put their feet in their mouths constantly when it comes to trying to defend bad work. I'm sorry. This is not shocking. This is par for the course. This is, as you said, we're on repeat. We're on loop. I've seen this episode. This is a rerun. As far as, like, I can understand wanting to have some level of tact when you're promoting a movie overseas that is specifically something that is tied and ingrained in your culture. you do want to be respectful of other people. You don't want to go out of your way to, I guess,
you don't gotta have to
rock the boat, right? You don't have to be a jerk about it. However, I think it's important, as I alluded to earlier, because I'm sorry, it's in the name, Captain America. There is something intrinsic in there. However, you can make that work in the, I guess, lens of promoting it on an international scale. You can do things and you can describe it in certain ways to get people excited that live in other countries. And they don't give a crap about American politics. They don't give a crap about, what one person in America believes over the other. A lot of people on the international scale just want a fun movie, right? That's why a lot of movies will do so much better on the international scale. However, you still can't just throw out that it's American. And you definitely don't want to piss off Americans in the process. Probably a bad idea.
It's like calling Superman not necessarily super, because that might offend. And let me tell you something. You could have a superhero out of Chile who's, I don't know, Captain Chile. And I'd be like, cool, I want to go see that. I don't know what the Chilean values are that make it specifically Chilean, but cool. You can do Captain Argentina. You can do Captain Uruguay as I make my way up South America. To switch continents, you can do Captain UK.
Well, we have Captain Britain.
Yeah, Captain Britain. Cool. I'll go see it. You don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to be ashamed. And they're ashamed of it. But the pretentiousness is what gets me. The fact that they're out there, putting these things out that really make them look poorly. Folks, here would be my recommendation. There are various stations that you will inhabit in life. Good, bad. You'll have moments of extreme luck. You'll have moments where all of your work comes together and you receive an opportunity. You'll also have really bad times. And that's life. You'll run the full course of it. Maybe you'll get more lucky. Maybe you'll get less. Maybe you'll have the skills and the talents and you'll put the work in to have better opportunities. Maybe you won't. But you're going to have really good days and really bad days. No matter what kind of days you have, no matter if you have very little or if you have Anthony Mackie levels of vast fortune, don't forget to be grateful. Because when you are ungrateful, that is when contempt, that is when resentment will fill that void. And just as we looked at in that article, it looks very ugly and it demeans others. Find the gratefulness that you can find and hang on to, no matter where you are in life, good or bad. It will turn hells into less than what could be in terms of terrible, and it will make the heavenly times of your life that much better. All right, Andrew, let me tell you about something that is much, much better, something that makes people have a great day. That is the Rippaverse, and every time they hear something new is on the way. I don't think we can break any kind of news right now, but that's okay. Please, Andrew, tell us. Are we just getting more Rippaverse? We need more Rippaverse.
We are getting a lot more Rippaverse. We're getting a lot more Rippaverse this year, and even more next year, more than likely. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works right now. We have the Great War of Separation that just launched, which is doing fantastic for us. Written by the amazing, legendary Chuck Dixon, illustrated by Jack Herbert, who did Alpha Core #1 Cover B. He's a phenomenal artist. This book sings with the art and the story. Yaira 2 is still live and doing incredibly. So thank you so much to everybody that has supported the Rippaverse, because we do this because of you. We're able to do this because of you, and we do this for you. We are by the fans and for the fans, and the fans are the greatest in the world.
That's what we call grateful. Andrew, where can people go to find Rippaverse?
They can find us on Rippaverse.com. They can follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're on X. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We do YouTube. Yeah, we got a YouTube thing.
MySpace. They got it all, folks. They got it all.
Oh, yeah. We definitely got a MySpace for sure.
That's right. I hope I'm on your top 5 places. By the way, Andrew, if you get a chance to talk to Chuck Dixon anytime and he's ever watched any of our videos here on the Pro Channel, let him know that one of the walls in our studio here in Somewhere Sunny, USA is covered in his original run of the Robin comics in mint condition. They're all up there, and it's one of those collections that we take great pride in.
Fantastic. I grew up with that.
Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. Andrew, thanks for stopping by. Folks, get over there and subscribe to Rippaverse as well as ND Andrew, wherever he may be. folks. The links are in the video description down below. Also, like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts on Anthony Mackie. Is he now in the same category as Rachel Zegler? We would love to find out. And folks, until the next time, we have the honor of spending time with you. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
You'd better hang on to your feathers, little bird. They need to put you in the show.
What? Jose, what are you listening to? You don't even have ears.
Vacation Radio 24/7. Original music on YouTube. Vacation Radio. WDW Pro Music Channel.
I have no idea what you're saying. But if you want to be listening to music, you should head over to Vacation Radio 24/7 on YouTube. One of the 100 other channels WDW Pro's been working on. Oh, and I have a song for you, Jose. Jose Cowabunga. He is Jose Cowabunga. He's Jose. That one seems a little bit foreign to you.